What's going on, everyone? My name is Dudo, and I'm the Goalie Gear Snob. And for those of you that may or may not know, I'm the Dallas Stars emergency backup goaltender, and I served for all 41 home games of the 2024-2025 season. I had a pretty good look at all of the goalie setups this past year, and naturally, I developed a few favorites. I'm going to include my top 10 favorites in this video, as well as a few honorable mentions and a few dishonorable mentions for some of the worst sets of gear I've seen this season. So make sure you stay and watch this video. And of course, please make sure you share it out to a friend and comment down below and let me know what you think of all these gear choices. So let's get into it first with the honorable mentions. So starting with the honorable mentions, we're going to be looking at Semyon Varlamov from the New York Islanders. So as you can see here, I really like how he has an all-white setup with the royal blue logos and that tiny little hit of orange across the outside outer roll. I just think it looks super clean. I love the matching logos on the stick and just the colored helmet. I think it just ties really well together with this entire Islanders setup. As you can see, he's using the true PX3 pad glove and blocker with a 590 glove, 595 blocker, Vaughn Velocity NHL Spec pants, CCM Pro NHL Spec chest, Bauer Hyperlite2 wrap sticks, a Bauer profile helmet, and of course the Bauer Konekt skates. So let's watch a little bit more of his setup here. Next, another honorable mention is Adin Hill. While I did film this from behind, I hope you can still see how clean this setup looks here. I really like how there's just a lot of the white based with the pure gold accents and the smallest little hits of red. I just think it ties the entire set together really well. And of course, seeing him change from true into Brian's gear, I just think this Brian's look with the Brian script just, sets the entire look off, especially with the Golden Knights uniforms. So again, he's using Iconik pads with the Eclipse glove and the Iconik blocker. Of course, all of them in the vintage kind of heritage style graphic. He's also using Vaughn SLR3 NHL Spec pants, a CCM Pro NHL Spec chest, Warrior RV2 wrap sticks, a CCM Axis Pro Helmet, and I just love this Axis helmet shape. And of course, true two-piece skates with the Vertexx edge holder. So let's enjoy a little bit more of his setup here. And the final honorable mention we have is Jordan Binnington from the St. Louis Blues. There's just something about having the blue nylon on the glove and blocker on the back zone and then having the kind of outer roll or zone A, if you will, match across all the pieces. I just think it ties together so well here. And I love the inside edge or kind of the inside zones being used more on this set. The one caveat of why I didn't crack the top 10 here is that there's actually no navy on this set, especially knowing that they're wearing navy pants and have some navy hits in the uniform. I just wish there's a little bit more navy in there, but he's using true PX5 pad glove and blocker with the 580 glove and the 595 blocker. He did switch to Vaughn SLR3 NHL Spec pants. He's using a Bauer Hyperlite2 NHL Spec chest, true 9x3 sticks, a Bauer profile helmet, and of course the ever so popular true two-piece skates with a Vertexx edge holder. And if you want to learn more about why that two-piece skate with a Vertexx edge holder is so popular, you gotta wait for my NHL gear breakdown video where I go over the advanced stats of everyone's gear. But until then, just watch Jordan Binnington make a few saves here. I did just want to give a huge honorable mention out to Scott Wedgwood. I wasn't able to film this year due to his trade from Nashville to Colorado, so a weird series of events, but I wasn't able to see him here. But he's super courteous and was sending over a lot of photos of his gear throughout the season. Also, he's just been a great friend and someone great to talk to. So if I did get to film him this year, he would have had the #1 spot in this countdown and my heart as well. Cracking the number 10 spot here is going to be a controversial pick. It's Thatcher Demko from the Vancouver Canucks. So just something about this set with all white with the royal blue logos, the white leg channel. I mean, it looks basic, I get it, but just having the colored logos to match the rest of the set looks so good, especially when you have all the logos that match across all the pieces. I just think it looks great. When you tie in the helmet and the look with everything, I just think it matches these uniforms so well and just makes them look so much bigger. Of course, he's a big guy anyway, but I just think, the all white gear just works so well for him. I did just want to make a note that he does use white weave on the inside edge of the pads, so you're going to see a little bit of a different hue across that area as well. But when we look at his gear, he is using E-Flex 7 pads, an E-Flex 7 blocker, E-Flex 6 580 glove. Did end up going back to that E-Flex 6 blocker, but he's also using Vaughn SLR3 NHL Spec pants, CCM Pro NHL Spec chest, CCM Axis XF Pro sticks, a Pro's Choice helmet, and I love the one-piece skates, although I wish he did have the white holder. But let's just enjoy Thatcher Demko warming up here in the number 10 spot. Coming in at number 9 is Samuel Ersson from the Philadelphia Flyers. So naturally, I didn't really like this set when I first saw it in the beginning of the year, but between talking to my partner Chelsea and a few other people, I've realized that the white and black just works so well with the Flyers uniforms. The reason why he's not using more orange in the set is because the Flyers' burnt orange color technically doesn't match orange Gen Pro. That's why he's using it in a small hit and a small accent. I just think that works really well for the uniforms, especially having the solid stripes on the arm, the solid stripe on the outer roll. I mean, it just looks super clean. So he is using the true PX3 padded glove and blocker with the 600 glove, a 595 blocker, the pretty much stock Vaughn SLR3 NHL Spec pants, CCM Pro NHL Spec chest, the Bauer Hyperlite2 wrapped sticks, the Bauer profile helmet, and the true two-piece skates with a Vertexx edge holder. And let's just enjoy this clip of Samuel Ersson in the number 9 spot. Coming in at number 8 is Karel Vejmelka with the Utah Mammoth Hockey Club. So at the time they were the Hockey Club, now they are the Mammoth, but I just think this stock Optic 4 graphic looks so good. I think it would actually match the Mammoth logo well, but I believe he's already going to be going into a very custom looking set of pads for this off season and into the beginning of next season. But I just think the stock graphic works super well here. What you're seeing on the front of that full right paddle is actually going to be the back of a regular paddle, so it just looks a little bit funky here, but I really like the look of the Optic 4 pad glove and blocker with the Optic 3 NHL Spec pants, Optic 2 NHL Spec chest, the Warrior RV4 Ritual wrap sticks with the reverse logos and reverse graphics, Pro's Choice helmet, and the true two-piece skates with a stock shift holder. Well, let's just enjoy this clip of him warming up here in the number 8 spot. Moving into the 7th spot here is Arvid Soderblom from the Chicago Blackhawks. Again, similar to Ersson with a lot of white, black, and a small hit of color, I just think it works so well with the Chicago away uniforms and works pretty well with their home uniforms. But keep in mind the Blackhawks actually have their jerseys basically a white, black, red versus white, red, black, so it makes sense for his gear to look like that as well. So he did switch out of true gear into the SLR4 stuff here. I just think it looks great on him. So he's using the SLR4 pad glove and blocker with the SLR 70 degree glove. Then he's using the Vaughn SLR3 NHL Spec pants, CCM Pro NHL Spec chest, the true 9x4 sticks, Pro's Choice helmet, and the true two-piece skates, again with the stock shift holder. Let's just enjoy this clip here of him warming up in the number 7 spot. Moving to number 6, we have Charlie Lindgren here with his Von Iceberg-inspired Bauer Digiprint set. The main reason why this isn't higher up in the countdown is just because I don't love the logo placement where like the iceberg kind of wraps around. It looks a little funky with having the logo with kind of like a backing to it, and it being navy. I just think it looks a little weird. And again, the set would have been higher up in my personal opinion if he kept more navy on the stick versus red. It just would have tied in the entire set together. But I just generally love the iceberg graphic, and I love that he's getting it digi-printed on his gear here. So he is actually using the Bauer Flylight pads, the ultrasonic glove, and the Vapor 2-piece blocker, which is basically your binding list 1X, all in that digi-print iceberg graphic. He's also using Bauer Pro NHL Spec pants, the Bauer Hyperlite2 NHL Spec chest, Bauer Shadow Wrap sticks. Again, I wish I had a little bit more navy on them than red, a Bauer Profile helmet, and Bauer Konekt skates, and that wraps him into being all Bauer gear. Let's enjoy Charlie Lindgren here in the number 6 spot. So coming in at number 5 here is UC Saros. I mean, what else do I have to say except an all sport gold pad, especially in sport gold weave or sport gold emboss, whatever you want to call it. I just think it looks so clean, especially having the navy logos, navy strapping, the matching navy stick. I just think it looks so good. There's also something so cool about having basically the Vaughn pants without the logo, and then the Pro's Choice helmet without the logo. Just something about it just sets this entire set off. So he's using the PX3 Pad glove and blocker, the 590 glove, 595 blocker, Vaughn Velocity NHL Spec pants, a CCM Pro NHL Spec chest with Konekt arms, CCM Axis XF Pro sticks, Pro's Choice helmet, and I love the true one-piece skates with that white bottom. Just chef's kiss, looks so good. So coming in at the 4 spot is Joey Daccord. At first, when I saw this set very early on in the season, I wasn't overly in love with it, but the more I saw it, the more I rewatched this clip, the more I realized it just looks so good. Especially with having the straps on the pad, just adding in the extra little bit of detail, that red binding on the outside edge. I mean, it just looks so clean, and I just really like this. I love the story of him seeing Ottinger in Dallas the season prior, and watching Jake just send pucks flying over the netting, over the glass, and then just pretty much just tracking down Bauer and telling him, hey, I want that exact blocker, and then getting the digiprint graphic to match the PX5. I mean, it just ties the whole set together. I really love how everything looks here. So he's using the true L12.1 pads with the PX5 graphic, basically the eFlex 4 similar model pad. He's using the true PX5 590 glove, the Bauer ultrasonic blocker with that digiprint PX5 graphic, Vaughn Velocity NHL Spec pants, CCM Pro NHL Spec chest, Warrior RV2 wrap sticks, a Bauer profile, and the true one-piece skates. I just think this whole setup looks absolutely fantastic. So let's just enjoy Joey Daccord in the number 4 spot. So before we get into the top 3, I am going to go over some of my worst setups here. So let's just get into these clips here. So the second to worst setup I filmed this year was Ilya Samsonov. The reason why it really just grinds my gears is because no piece of gear matches one another. There's 3 separate graphic layouts across every piece. It seems like he just did one, did the blocker, then did the pads, and never really tried to match them all together. And I just can't stand how it looks here. I mean, nothing really matches. I think that he has some very interesting gear choices with the models that he's using, and overall, I just don't think it flows well against the Knights uniforms. But he is using the L4.1 pads with the PX4 graphic, PX4 glove and blocker with a 590, 595 respectively, Vaughn Velocity NHL Spec pants, the CCM Pro NHL Spec chest, true 9x4 sticks. I actually do like the gold on these here, but then a CCM Axis XF Pro helmet and true two-piece skates with the shift holder. Getting into the worst set I have seen this year is John Gibson, and I've done my best to slow this clip down in kind of a half speed so you can see it. But again, just like Samsonov, none of the pieces match, and it just bothers me that the color amount is the same, but when you look at the graphic layout, no three pieces entirely match. The one piece of saving grace here is that he does have the two-piece 590 glove, which looks fantastic, but just the rest of the other stuff is just a little off. When we look at the breakdown of his gear, he's using the PX3 Pads with thigh wraps, just crazy, still wearing those. Then he's using the true PX3 two-piece 590 glove, true L12.1 blocker in the 595 with that PX5 graphic. You can tell it's an L12.1 because it still has the binding on the sidewall. Then he's using the CCM 14A NHL Spec pants, a Vaughn Vision NHL Spec chest in the 9500 model, CCM Axis XF Pro sticks, a Bauer profile helmet, and then CCM E-Flex skates with a Vertexx edge holder. Just a wild combination of gear. The last thing I did want to say for the worst looking set of gear, and I don't even want to show it here, it's Sergei Bobrovsky. If you like how his L95 stuff looks, you're absolutely insane. It looks terrible. But now let's get into the top three. So now we're getting into the top three best looking sets, and I debated moving this setup into number 2, but I have to go with it in the number 3 spot. It's Jake Oettinger. I saw this set so many times this year. I saw this shadow graphic, and while everything matches so well and it looks so clean, I wish there's a tiny little hit of color across the back of the pads, maybe in the strapping, maybe something a little bit extra there. I love that it's just 2 colors for the Stars uniforms, and the Stars actually have 4 colors, so I think that's, really unique. And it just looks so clean here. So again, I thought about moving it up to 2, but it's got its spot here in the bronze spot. So Jake is using the Flylight pads, an ultrasonic glove, and an ultrasonic blocker, all within the shadow graphic. And he's using Vaughn SLR3 NHL Spec pants, a Brian's Optic 2 chest, Bauer Hyperlite2 wrap sticks, which are actually the 2X Pro core, a Bauer profile helmet, and true two-piece skates with a Bauer Vertexx edge holder. And let's just enjoy this sweet clip of Jake in the number 3 spot. Now in silver, in the second position, we have Elvis Merzlikins with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And this setup here, I think is a super unique layout of the PX3 pad, glove, and blocker. But the extra piece that sets it off for me is the pretty much all white on white stick. So it still is a Bauer shadow stick, and you can basically just still custom order this right now through Bauer or Goalie Monkey. But the reason why I really like that is because not only does he have the white stick, but then the all white true one-piece skates. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what a style choice to go with. I just think it looks so clean here. And I really like how it's just, so unique seeing this graphic layout, which is so different compared to everybody else in the PX3 set. So I think it looks very reminiscent of like the top half of a TPS R8, and since I always wanted the R8, it's probably why I like it so much, but I think it just looks fantastic here. So he's using the true PX3 pad, glove, and blocker with a 590 glove, 595 blocker. He's also using Vaughn Velocity NHL Spec pants, a Vaughn V6 2200 NHL Spec chest, which is a super unique one to use, the Bauer Shadow wrap sticks in that white on white color, a Pro's Choice helmet, and the true one-piece skates with the gorgeous white on white. Let's just watch this clip here. Coming in the number 1 spot, this should be no surprise to anyone that knows me personally. Has to be the GOAT, has to be Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, when I look at his setup, against the Minnesota away uniform. Just every detail about it looks so clean. I just love that L95 graphic. Not to mention he had a matching L95 setup when he wore the home Minnesota uniforms, or their alternate jerseys as well. I mean, he had these 3 unique setups that were like damn near perfect the entire time. So I just absolutely love how the setup looks here, and I'm honestly going to miss watching him play. When you look at his gear, he was historically kind of keeping a lot of the same things, even dating back to his Coho Reebok days. He kept a lot of the same models, and I just think that that's awesome that for like nearly like 18 seasons, he wore like the exact same pad and competed at the highest level. Like, I respect that. He had very few spec changes across his career, but I mean, this set just looks fantastic. So he is using the L4.1 pads, the L4.1 glove, and the 600 brake, and the PX4 595 blocker, of course, all buttoned up in the L95 graphic. He is using Vaughn SLR3 NHL Spec pants, a CCM Pro NHL Spec chest True 9x4 sticks, a gorgeous Pro's Choice helmet, and CCM AS1 Super Tax skates. And let's just enjoy this clip of Marc-Andre Fleury in the #1 spot for one final time. So now that I've showed you guys my top 10 favorite setups of this past 2024-2025 season, I hope you guys get to enjoy this and get to take some of these great gear details and some of these great conversations into your own setups. I think matching gear can help make the goalie, and while I understand some people are shopping on a budget or they just kind of like what they like, I think there's a great way that goalies can actually get great matching sets if they just did a little bit of extra research or shopped around a little bit more. So I'd like you guys now to comment down below and tell me what you think was one of your favorite setups for the season. And don't just say like, oh, I really like Binnington's. Like, tell me why you liked it. What did it match across the rest of the gear? Why were you drawn to it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And of course, if you would like to learn more about what NHL goalies are wearing and why they're wearing it, I'll be posting an advanced stat video next week that's actually going to be going over all of this gear by the numbers and tell you what the most popular brands were. And I'm going to do my best to try to find the most popular set from every category that I filmed and see if there is a goalie that matches into that. So please make sure you stay tuned to that video next week. But until then, please make sure you share this video out to a friend and comment down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. My name is Chris Dudo, and I'm the Goalie Gear Snob. Thanks for watching this top 10 best setups video. If you like this week's warm-up video, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel as I upload new videos every Wednesday. And if you want to watch more NHL warm-ups, click that playlist right there.